In 3 seconds, tell me, is this a real card or a fake card? If you guessed real, you just got scammed. If you've been in the hobby a while, that was probably an easy test. But if you're new to the hobby, I'm going to go over 3 tips that will give you more confidence in what you buy. So, short story, about 3 years ago, my father-in-law, who owns a pawn shop, purchased a binder full of Pokemon cards, and turned out they were fake. Most of them wound up in here, which is one of my childhood binders that now Eli owns, and he wanted to keep them as his fakes binder, but because he loves the artwork, so no harm, no foul. We don't take these to card shows to trade. He just loves the art, and you know, that's what card collecting's all about, so I don't see any harm in it as long as we keep them and he knows they're fake. But anyway, it kind of got me to thinking, with my father-in-law owning the pawn shop and with Pokemon's popularity, there's a lot of people now buying Pokemon cards, whether it be at a pawn shop or buying them for kids, buying them for grandkids, that really have no frame of reference on, you know, what Pokemon cards maybe should look and feel like. And so that's part of the reason for this video. And so with that being said, I'm going to hop into the very first point of the 3 that I'm going to make here. And that is with just the general look of the card. You can tell when you have the cards in your hand if it's supposed to have texture, what it's, you know, some of these fakes are really good at looking like they may have some texture, but when you get your hands on the cards, they just simply do not. And I'm going to show an example here with a couple of cards, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to use a recent example of a card we showed on the channel with a PSA reveal video. This Fandom Forces Gengar, obviously graded, so it's a legit card. And I'm going to try my best to show you the texture so you can kind of see the way the light hits it. You can see the texture right in here, to where if this was not in a slab, you could feel that. It wouldn't be just a flat surface. Now, on the other hand, we'll just pull the same card out of Eli's artwork binder, I would like to call it. See, and on this one, you don't even see any texture. Like, it's just, and the colors look off. It's almost like they look oversaturated, too bright. So very easy to spot this being the fake here. It's just, it doesn't look right. And if you look at the back is too glossy. If you look at the back on this one, colors are kind of dull. I mean, just darker, not really all that shiny. Here you can just see the light reflecting off the card. It's just too glossy to be a legit card. The other point number 2 here is, you know, if you're still having trouble with that, you can use a light test, which I usually use my phone's flashlight, but I'm recording here, so I'm going to use my trusty little Rayovac flashlight to show you what I'm talking about with that. With real Pokemon cards, you shine a light, you stick a card onto the top of this light, you shouldn't see the light shine through it. With fakes, and they're not all this way, but a lot of fakes, you stick that card up to that light, you're going to see light shining through on the other side. So that's a very good, that's one of my favorite ways to test if I'm unsure about something. And it works most of the time. Okay, and point number 2, I just mentioned that, you know, the light test. So we're going to take this same Gengar card, take the Rayovac, and no, they're not sponsoring me. I don't know why I'm saying that, but take the flashlight. We're going to stick it to the card. See that? That should not happen. Shouldn't happen. So we're taking this Umbreon EX, which it doesn't have texture, so it might be a little harder to say, oh, is this, I don't know if this is real or fake. No light. No light getting through. If light does not get through, that's a pretty good sign that you have an authentic card. If it shines through like it did on the Gengar, that is a big red flag. Stay away from it. Now our final point here is, and it's one that I wouldn't recommend doing because you're almost to the point where it's a kind of a last resort, is real Pokemon cards. If you, and I'm going to show an example here in a second, if you tear them in half, they have a little black layer. Most of the cardboard is white, but they have a black layer in the middle. It's just how they're made. Fakes don't have that. If you rip it apart, you're just going to see white cardboard throughout. So that's the best telltale sign that you're looking at a fake. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend it because if you're to that point, you should already be pretty confident it's a fake. Otherwise, you're going to tear up a legit card. So I'll show you that really quick before we get out of here. And as I just alluded to, that final point, if you just have no other choice, you need to know if a card's real or fake. You can tear the card in half. And I'm using a card, Eli found this on the playground and wanted to restore it. And, I think we can tape it back together. But before we do, I asked him if I could use this card as an example because I didn't want to rip up a real card. This one has already been torn up. If you'll look, there's the black layer in the middle of the white cardboard that I had mentioned. So that indicates this is a legitimate card. I'm not going to tear up one of his fake cards because I really don't want him aggravated at me. How could you do this? So, but if you were to rip a fake one, you're not going to see this black layer. And that's the biggest difference. I have yet to see a fake card, and anybody that has can correct me on this. I have yet to see a fake card with that black layer within the cardboard. So biggest telltale sign, but like I said, I would try to avoid that at all costs because at that point you better hope that you're ripping a fake card. So there you have it. Those are the three biggest indicators that I use to determine if a card's real or fake. I'm sure there are quite a few more out there, but those are the three that I'm the most comfortable with, and I've pretty well been able to dodge buying fake cards. There are some like the Caterpie EX that is a Charizard from XY Evolutions. Some other pretty funny fakes like that are just, unless you know zero about Pokemon, you're going to be able to spot them. But yeah, so that's what I got for you today. We will catch you on the next one. I'm hoping you learned something from it. And if not, comment and tell me that it was useless, but we'll catch you on the next one.